Well, now for a little bit of a shameless plug. We'll keep you for about 3 minutes in this event. Had a new book released just a few days ago, and there it is on the on the wall above the piano. And when I look around the room, a bunch of you are in it, but the book was only 200 pages. So if it was 500 pages, we could probably include everybody. But next time, we'll do it next time. So it'll be on sale both tonight and at the craft fair, and Karen will tell you more about that. But we want to do a little bit of a reading of the book, because there's many stories. There's some history stories, but it's not a history book. It's a human interest book about Naramata. And, you know, I've had the privilege of writing 2,235 articles over this last 2.5 years. And thank you. Some of that is pretty dry stuff, like lost dogs and lost signs of the slow down girl and public hearings, but there was some stuff that was really interesting about our people, what our people are doing this time of our life in this community. So that can be found in these 200 pages. So we're going to do a little presentation on one of the stories in the book, and there's many people featured in the book, including this story is called Bob of All Trades. So, what do you call a village icon? Bob the Wreck Guy, Deli Bob, Choir Manager Bob, Flamethrower Bob? Well, the latter seems to be his best known nickname, probably due to the feisty column titled Tongues of Fire that graced the pages of the Vohino between 2003 and 2009. I had a chance to ask Robert Moss in 2011, "So Bob, when did you come up with the name Flamethrower?" His answer knocked me off my chair.
Well, actually, it was your wife that gave me that name.
Now, Bob, he reminded me that we had hired his services for catering our 40th birthday party.
It was only 2 years ago.
It was not a surprise event. Our birthdays are 12 days apart, so we threw our own party in the year 2000 as a way to meet our new neighbors in Naramata. And Bob recalled that we had asked him to provide barbecue beef and a signature Jamaican jerk chicken. Why didn't we have that tonight? It was great chicken, by the way. Now, in an effort to spice up the invitation, Karen put in the invitation.
Please, BYOB, bring a salad or dessert, but the main course will be supplied by Flamethrower Bob.
Well, at the time, Robert's email address was Bob the Wreck Guy, due to his role as Naramata's recreation coordinator. Well, when he left that role to start a deli counter at the Naramata store and promote his catering services, he started using the Flamethrower handle. Bob fondly recalls that he loves stirring up the pot of conversation via his Tongues of Fire newspaper column.
It was just a chance to expose some injustices and a chance to rant.
It was also a fine outlet for Bob's superb sense of humor and showed the power of the pen, or in this case, the printed page.
Someone I know was the victim of a huge amount of vandalism to their home, and I wrote a scathing article about who could do such a thing. What kind of low-life person could be responsible for such a senseless damage? Actually, I said a lot more than that. I call him every name in the book to draw his ire.
And the desired result came a few days after publication in the Vohino.
One of the perpetrators was dumb enough to get so upset by what I wrote that he emailed me to do some venting himself. And the language in his message was far worse than in my newspaper column. And I forwarded the email to the police, and the authorities went to his house to confront him. How good is that?
Well, one spring day, an elderly lady walked into the store and approached Bob at the deli counter.
Are you that Flamethrower Bob?
Yes, I am.
Well, I come to Naramata in the summertime mostly, and when we left last fall, I had some cinder blocks sitting in my yard, but now it's spring and I'm back, and those things are gone. Somebody pinched them. Can you help me out with your newspaper column?
Well, Bob wrote about the theft in his column, and soon afterwards, the cinder blocks had mysteriously reappeared in the lady's yard. That's what you call dealing with concrete issues in our community. Mr. Moss is always busy around the town. Bob is the long-standing manager of the Naramata Community Choir, a tenor beyond compare. He loves to compose songs for special occasions. He was convener of the August Fair for many years, and in November 2007, the OAP honored him as Naramata Citizen of the Year. In good company, Jackie. We're fortunate that Bob shares his silly puns and wit with the entire community. So if he bottled it up and took it home, he'd drive Marissa and Sandy absolutely batty with this, I'm sure. As for my name for Bob, well, my personal favorite is Father Christmas. As in Father Christmas. See, Bob's youngest son, the youngest of 3 sons, is Chris Moss, and Bob happens to be very well acquainted with St. Nick. I just can't figure out why we never see Santa and Bob in the same room at the same time. So thank you. That's a little story in the book, and it's great to hold things like that in our local history in printed form.